I'm Raven, and welcome back to Pegasus Prime. I had this horrible dream where I recorded all of this stuff in the year 2318. But it's fine, I'm safe now in the year 2112. And yes, this is a narration. So, here's the thing I managed to figure out. Don't worry, there's only 45 minutes of recording before I realised it was still cutting out even though it didn't look like it was. Because I was watching it. But clearly I wasn't watching it quite in depth enough. So Pegasus Prime, for some reason, has... It interferes with OBS. Because this is the only game it happens in, and it only happens after the first time you get a movie to play by turning or scrolling over something with the cursor or what have you. So, let us get into this. I'm going to take some time and look at the security monitor. I'm actually going to watch it this time, because there is a whole crap ton of information. I actually try to jot down some of it, but it just goes by far too quickly for me to be able to make any journaled sense of, at the very least. I do come to the conclusion, after a couple attempts to move beyond this room, that you kind of need to go to a different time zone in order to progress. But we haven't quite got there yet, so we shall start off where we are. So, I considered cancelling this LP, because obviously if OBS has an issue with Pegasus Prime, this isn't going to work. However, I thankfully realised I have my second computer sitting right underneath my desk, and a capture card. So what I'll do is, once I've got past narrating this 45 minutes of footage, I'm going to install Pegasus Prime on my second computer, and I'll just capture the output from that and record OBS here, because it can't interfere with OBS if it's not on this computer. But we do have this issue to get past first. There's all sorts of information that you're seeing on the screen, and I haven't been able to find any use for any of it so far, other than getting a generic idea of the fact that there is a launch override terminal for stopping the nuclear vessels, and that we are sort of in the bottom left-hand corner. Oh, and that there's tons and tons of these bases, which makes me just think of Soma. All the bases look the same as well, but then they are military, so I guess that kind of makes sense. You'll note that I already picked up the gas canister, and that's just so that, A, you don't have to listen to all the way through this section of the game, but it also means that I have all the time in the world to piss around in this room. Because as far as I'm concerned, you can, or as far as I'm aware, rather, you can turn around in this room and spend as much time as you like, and no one's going to wake up. It's only once you try to leave the room and walk past the soldier that's on the floor that it becomes a problem. And finally the screen has come to its end, and that is all there is to see. Which means that any second now, I will move on from this screen. There we go. Alright. Now, last time I was here, I wasn't particularly thorough with the canister. I tried clicking through a couple of things, but I wasn't actually logically clicking through all of the things. So this is a intake and dispensing station, which allows you to take gas from a canister or dispense gas into a canister. So naturally here in intake mode, you put the gas canister back in and it'll start flooding the base with gas again. Or if I can drop it on properly. And now the breathing restarts and the alarm goes off. And in dispense mode, I'm going to go through them one by one. Unsurprisingly, none of them will work, because they're not the correct canister. But hey, that's fine. Absolutely fine. So oxygen will not work. Neither will helium. Oof. Gonna try CO2 next. Nope. No CR2. How about argon? Argon must surely work. Nope. But that's fine. We'll come back to that later. So I'm just going to rip the canister out, refresh my timer for the oxygen, dump it back in, turn back on intake mode, and let's go exploring. You're gonna see the exploring bit a couple times. Oh, the sound effects and ambience. It doesn't save your setting. Come on, guys. It's really easy just to save the setting as part of the save state or whatever. And I make a quick pre-gas save. Or at least I then append the time date to it. Though I would wager I probably know what it means by gas. And since I know I'm on a time limit, it's time to mosey. The first problem to remember is this security camera. Which likely means that you're going to want to go back and erase that footage at some point. Or get some device somewhere else to prevent it. Or turn it off, or disable it.
Defense command post on security alert. Access denied.
There's nowhere else you can go in this corridor other than the thermal scan at the end of this corridor. But since we've seen that already, let's go take a look-see at this. This is a pressurized airlock. Naturally, you have to...
Unequal pressure between this chamber and submarine dock. Equalize pressure before entering. Avoid maximum pressure as some objects may implode.
Do that. I wasn't sure whether you're increasing or decreasing the sub pressure, so I push up first. So it goes too high, and then you pass out from gas. But it's fine, I have my save state, so I'm gonna load. It's okay, Anthony, you can load. We've read the gas already, it happened in the last video. It's okay, you can restore. I do eventually figure out that you can just press continue. So I run out of here again. Clip clop. Door closes. Turn. Clip clop, clip clop. Camera turns. Clip clop forward. Back to the pressurized door. Listen to it tell you about the pressurization again.
Chamber and submarine dock. Equalize pressure before entering. Avoid maximum pressure as some objects may implode.
And this time I bring the pressure down, clicking as fast and as hard as I can. But there's this, there's some sort of transition that tries to happen here. There we are. Not the hardest puzzle in the world. And look at that. Whoa, pretty schwanky stuff, right? The sound even changes on the alarm. That's attention to detail. And look at that submarine, it's got missiles on it. Go ahead and breach out of here, and we're going to walk across to the far door. At which point we pass out from gas. So, my theory then is we run up, open the door, go back, take out the gas canister, plug it back in, and try to get there. It's a sound theory, because naturally if this sleeping gas is the time limit, then you have to try and work to that.
Unequal pressure between this chamber and submarine dock.
I tried to walk through the door without looking at the panel first, so I lost some time there.
Between this chamber and submarine dock. Equalize pressure before entering.
I think I managed to bring this one down quite quickly when I start clicking. I got lucky with the transitions. Yeah, look at that. Boom. And then I completely cock up the plan by walking forward. I look at the panel, and then I go, oh crap, this isn't the plan. This was not the plan at all. Abort! Abort! Run for the hills. You gotta wait for those doors to close, man. You gotta wait for them closing animation sounds. Gotta make it back to the room. Go, 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 go! No, the door closing, stop it. And you pass out from gas. So I figure, oh man, we were so close. We're so close. We've gotta be able to do it. It has to be feasible. So, here we go again. Wait for the door to close. Clip clop down the corridor. It's like Groundhog Day. The camera turns. Run forward. Door opens. You know, these doors are actually quite dangerous. You don't typically want a door that protrudes out into the hallway when it opens with its little latchy things. You'd think there'd be some sort of seal or lock inside the wall itself. It's like Star Trek doors go into the walls. Even the cargo bay doors and the holodeck doors do that. I guess in the 2112 it's not quite there yet. Turn around, wait for the thing to close. Run forward. Door opens. Run forward. Go, go, go. Door close. Turn. Door opens. Step inside. Turn to the left. Make sure you select the gas canister. It's not in your inventory. Go on. Go on. All you have to do is yank the tag. Just wait for the animation to end and you're gassed. So I decided at this point that there's no way to make it there and back in one go. So I instead decide that it is time for us to perform a total recall, go back to the present, or the future, and then go to a different time zone. Because it makes a certain amount of gameplay sense that you'd have to do the breach at the end. I don't know what the Gandhi bonus is. I imagine that's probably if you go through the game without killing anyone. But we'll come to that later. So I grab my pre-time jump save, and I'm gonna go ahead and jump to the year 2310, which is the Sydney Science Facility.
You are about to travel to the World Science Centre in New Sydney, Australia, in the year 2310. In the corrupted history, an influential scientist, Dr. Enrique Castillo, is assassinated during his speech at the Symposium on Alien Contact. Without his impassioned arguments for the benefits of sharing culture with other races, the sentiment of the scientific community toward alien contacts swings to an isolationist attitude, drastically altering history.
No problem there. Prepare for time jump. Incredible. He brought a gun. That's cheating.
Agent 5, you have just been shot with a dart coated with an unknown toxin. Your vital signs are beginning to fluctuate.
Do you want to remove it? Yes.
Your biosuit was able to filter out all but 7 micrograms of the toxin. The substance is a lethal neurotoxin and must be neutralized quickly, or you will perish.
Gee, good work, biosuit. Doesn't have a helmet. Doesn't stop you getting hit with a bio dart thing. Doesn't even have some sort of anti-toxin system inbuilt. Terrible. So, we are here in the Sydney Science Centre. I hump the compound analyzer. I think, there we go.
Base compound to be analysed into the analysis chamber.
And we get our first terrible Australian accent.
Nucleonic compound analyzer SL100A.
G'day, mate. Gotta put a shrimp on the barbie.
Okay, maybe it's not quite that bad. I believe at this stage I'm making reference that the Sinclair Laboratories symbol here is the same one that's on the gas canister in the past. The sort of 3 triangles with the big triangle in the middle. I was trying to remember what I was doing here. I wanted to have enough time. I wasn't sure how long the neurotoxin would take, considering how quickly you get gassed. I have the escape menu up so that I can write down the symbol without worrying about dying. Thankfully the symbol's
Assessing
quite simple.
polarity, checking for nuclear emissions, evaluating molecular structure, scanning polypeptide chains. Chemical, complex dimethylhydronate-based liquid tranquilizer. Sending analysis information to molecular compositor.
On actual scientific equipment, it wouldn't do that. It would just literally give you a readout. Thankfully here we can see there's no messages there. Because
Dr. Sinclair, your messages have been forwarded to your office.
I clicked that without really looking at the screen. I didn't know it was going to do that. And we get ourselves a nitrogen canister. Well, well, well. With this nitrogen canister, we can surely fill it with some gas. In the past.
Transferring argon from canister to reservoir. Ready to discharge argon into smart alloy chamber.
Sure.
Start.
Whoa, look at it. It changes from a lamp into a... what is that, George Washington? And then it just turns into like a dragon head or something. Or perhaps it's just a lump of metal.
It is now safe to retrieve your keycard and disengage the argon canister.
Yep. Thank you. So we go ahead and grab both. We get ourselves an office keycard and a second gas canister. Well, well, well. Those blue things aren't anything. But it, of course, doesn't help us with this whole neurotoxin thing, which... hump that, that's fine. Which seems to be taking its time. Thankfully, the analyzer is right here.
Sinclair Laboratories Molecular Synthesizer Interface SL100C-1. Now completing download of molecular information from compound analyzer. Dimenhydrinate is a relaxant commonly found in sleep and health aids. In combination with other drugs, its effects can be fatal. It is used as a base for many different forms of tranquilizers. There are antidotes known for several dimenhydrinate-based tranquilizers, all of which are members of the thorazine family. 3 thorazine base molecules have been pre-programmed. These molecules are stable. Variations must be selected manually. In the event that an unstable compound is being created, you will have to begin again. After all 3 molecules have been designed, an antidote can be synthesized.
Okay, sounds straightforward enough. So at
Base
this...
molecule number 1.
So at this stage, I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, alright, how does this work? There's got to be some sort of pattern, logic, rhyme, or reason. I regret to inform you that I still have no idea what the pattern, logic, rhyme, or reason is. And it takes a very long time. You get that sort of duck.
Base molecule number 1.
You get that duck sound of whack when you're wrong. Yeah, that sound. But it takes a long time to get there.
Base molecule number 1.
So at this stage, I'm pretty sure that I'm about to die of neurotoxin.
Base molecule number 1.
But all I can do is go one by one, whilst I try desperately to figure out some sort of pattern here.
Base molecule number 1.
Because I still have no idea.
Base molecule number 1.
Yeah, that seems to work. At this point, I'm like, okay, why did that work? Why? Nope, I still can't... I'm looking at it, and I'm still like, I don't get it.
Base molecule number 1.
Now, these symbols,
Base
or rather
molecule
molecules, look like letters. So, eventually I just settle for...
Base molecule number 1.
Just trying to spell something out. Maybe there's a data pad or a piece of paper that gives you
Base
the
molecule
chain,
number 1.
but I haven't found it. And I completely and utterly get that just by
Base
guessing.
molecule number 2.
Energy level 50%.
And indeed, if you look at the top, our energy level is now to yellow. And we're back to molecule number 2. And we have to
Base
start
molecule number 2.
all over again. Yep, that's right. It's going to crack at us one by one all the way
Base
through this.
molecule number 2.
You know, I get it. There's probably a solution to this puzzle in the room somewhere, but I have no idea where it
Base
is.
molecule
So I
number
brute
2.
force it. There are only so many combinations this can be. And each time I
Base
get one
molecule
right,
number 2.
there are fewer to go through. And, oh look, it's O again. Sadly, I haven't figured
Base
out
molecule number
that
2.
it's the same combination as previously. I believe I'm about to make that distinction.
Base molecule number 2.
Sadly, I didn't write down the combination from the first one. Yeah, here we are. I think that little subtle hand movement was me figuring out that it's actually the same. And it is literally just doing them in the order that they are. O-J-I-D-C-Y.
Base molecule number 2.
Ojidici. I still don't understand it.
Base molecule number 2.
But it's fine. I get it done now. C-Y. Nope, 50-50 chance. You get every shot you don't take, you lose, and even some you do.
Base molecule number 2.
Go on. Keep going. Yes. Yes. Job done. So good.
Base molecule number 3.
Yep. Go on, Anthony. You can do it. O, J, I, D, D. Come on, man. D. Push D. D. No, you dumbass. D. You
Base
just
molecule
did
number
this. O, J, I, D, C, Y. Thank you. God, I'm so stupid. I figured that out faster than needed.
3 stable thorazine base molecules have been designed. Building base molecules. Bonding additional molecules. Synthesis complete. The synthesized compound will appear in the molecular synthesizer.
About time too, because we're running out of energy. And somehow we're not dead from this neurotoxin. I have no idea how long it would take for you to die of the neurotoxin. I imagine maybe if you walk out the door or something, it just kills you. Delicious. And the music changes to let you know that you've done it, and you're no longer dying of neurotoxin. And hey, look, it's still in our inventory. And this is the first point where I figure out, hey, this is something that you can keep and use in different time zones. I try desperately to erase that save state name, and I don't realize whilst I'm typing. Whoopsie. Nope. Nope. Try again. Backpedal, backpedal. I think you'll find it's... Is it 2310? Yeah, so yeah, it's 2318. Yeah, that is right. So yes, there's the antidote. Taking another sip for no reason. But at the very least, it appears to be infinite use. We've got ourselves 2 canisters. Sinclair's keycard, my keycard, and the Journeyman key. So, we now have an office keycard for Dr. Sinclair, who some of you might remember is the guy that invented Tim Travel. And it's time for us to go through the jelly door. Or I can... I guess I'm writing something down. Maybe I'm desperately trying to remember the OGIDCY thing. I can't quite remember. And the audio is too choppy that I don't want to try and piece together what it is I'm trying to say. But it's fine. Jelly door it is. Thankfully there's no one in here. And we find ourselves in some sort of insect hive. Yeah. Kind of the last thing I was expecting to walk into. Disgusting. I'm not sure why I walked back in here. Yeah, just hump the computer. It's fine. Do you want to hump the compound analyzer? No? Oh, I was... yeah.
Dr. Sinclair, your messages have been forwarded to your office.
Indeed. It's fine. We do manage to get those messages. I just quickly go through my biochips. That's right. The useless mapping biochip is useless. But I noticed that there's an environment scan button on this one.
You are in the Molecular Biology Laboratory in Research Wing S4C of the World Science Centre, New Sydney, Australia.
Man, that's really useful information. I did not know that already. Now, at this stage, I know that my energy is quite low, and so I figure I should recall and go back. Because, naturally, I don't want to run out of energy and just game over anyway. But it's fine. We shall be back in the past to play this game. That doesn't suck ass. Not yet. We haven't gotten to any sucking ass parts. And it's also quite interesting because this is the first time I've actually recalled and then gone back. So I figured that it would dump me at the time that I left. Because naturally that makes sense. You know, otherwise you're inside yourself, right? Nope. Yeah, I still don't know what you're saying, mate. Something like, I've been expecting you. Still has that very nice gun. Here we go. Yep. Which entirely does beg the question. If I've already travelled back in time to this point and recalled, how come I am not inside myself? You know, they don't answer that question. At which point I'm like, oh crap, I've got to do this again. I'm gonna have to analyze the dart, build the molecule, do all the compound and what have you. Because, you know, I don't have the hindsight that I do. I have the computer, realise, oh crap, I haven't analysed the compound yet, I throw that in, and then I go, oh wait, I have an antidote right in my inventory right here. I don't need any of this crap.
Compound analyzer SL100A.
Yep.
Assessing
That's
polarity,
right.
checking for nuclear emissions.
Got a brilliant Australian accent and we all have to hear it.
Peptide chains. Chemical, complex dihydrogenate-based liquid tranquilizer. Sending analysis information to molecular compositor.
Indeed you are. Oh look. Beautiful. And the music stops, letting you know that you've been cured. And we've got tons of energy, which is very nice. So, once again, back into the insectoid corridors. For reference, I'm going to make this a long episode, so that I don't have to chop up the narration over 2 parts. And now I must decide. Okay, we're going out into this strange place. It is time to start making a map. And so, to simulate what that seemed like in the original video, so it'd be something along the lines of, okay, so we're here. Down that way is some sort of 4-way and a T-junction. Easy. Okay, it's fine. He didn't see us. That was close. That was a tense moment. I was like, oh, shoot. But thankfully nothing happened. I'll check it out.
All conference attendees must check in at the main reception in the auditorium complex.
Check it out, and we are in the clear. Now, to simulate what the map sections sounded like, let me go ahead and find a page I don't mind drawing on. Here, this page will do. And it sounds something like this. Yeah, brilliant. I decided to check out this computer. Oh, well that's handy dandy. Would you look at that? And it's at this stage that I realise, oh crap, the map I've been drawing is already wrong. Because I was drawing it way too small. I did not leave sufficient space for these labs on different sides and the storage, etc. So I do take a moment to redraw my map, which again I can simulate for you. Yep, just rifle through some pages. Yeah. Here, this page is blank enough. I'll write it on this one, and then just cut in the previous writing sound effects, because that's what I'm going to be doing for the next couple of minutes. Just drawing out this map. Let me get back to the right page. Let's see, that's Arnakrog. Here we go. The map that I eventually drew out, and everything that I write down in my notepad will be available in a bonus video once I've finished Pegasus Prime. But the map that I've drawn's pretty good. I'd like to think that it is a perfect representation. I draw in, you know, Lab A, Lab B, all the names of the dudes. As I come to doors and they're locked, I put a little key symbol in there. I even start marking in the various game over doors. There's lots of game over doors and passages in this place. Hopefully I won't be drawing for too much longer. It would be great if I had some grid paper, or graph paper, math paper, squared paper, gridded paper, inside this notebook for such occasions. But hey ho, I managed to do it freehand. Eventually. Man, I really took a long time drawing this map, huh? Man, how do you guys put up with me? I'm so slow at drawing. What am I doing? Come on, man. Should I just start drawing now, just to race myself? I mean, admittedly, I have the benefit of having drawn it once already. I can actually make sense of these weird little corner storage areas. I thought it was strange they'd put these L-shaped rooms in, but they're actually little alcoves so you can see outside. You can't see very much, and they usually lead to game over. Ah, here we go.
Hey! Who are you? Security, we have an unauthorized visitor in Lab Building 4.
And yes, that's it. Just game over. I wish one time like, oh crap, when was the last time I saved? And so, I try for the first time... Oh, sorry, expelled. Obviously out of place and without identification, you are stripped of your biotic interface and escorted off the premises. Avoiding human contact would have prevented this. No shirt, Sherlock. But I realised that I can push the continue button here. Which I will do so. Any second now. And it puts you back exactly where you were. Look at that. Boom. That did, however, look a bit strange in the recording, because that seemed to stick...
Biorhythms of life forms detected nearby. Extreme caution advised.
Indeed. That did seem to,
Nice eyepiece. Do you belong here?
Yes. I believe when I push continue, it goes back into the game, but it doesn't update the screen. Which I think may be another OBS issue. Yeah, because look, I'm back in the game and we're already turning. I may have to bear that in mind. All these things that you can't tell until you watch it back. I carefully check out the other alcove just to see if there's anything going on there. There isn't. I was kind of hoping that maybe I'd find a keycard in one of these little alcoves, but I believe they are there purely for decoration. So, you basically just have to watch out for people walking around. I don't remember whether I found out whether there's any rhyme or reason to it.
This laboratory is open to authorized personnel only.
Whether the people walking to the left and the right give you an indication whether they're down one of the side corridors, or if someone can actually walk into you. I don't think they can. You get lots of scenes like that where they're walking across the corridor.
Dr. Hernandez is currently at the conference. Keycard is required for entry.
Yep, I'll just keep putting some updating my map as we go.
This laboratory is open to authorized personnel only.
Indeed. Now it does beg the question. I'm not allowed to make contact with these people. But
Dr. Washington is currently at the conference. Keycard is required for entry.
But this is the year 2310. So you would think that I would be able to make contact with the TSA. Because this is what they're set up for, right? But then I realized that we are just beautifully shy of the TSA being a thing. If I check my notes, the time travel was invented in 2311. Which means that if this guy had caused a temporal influence just a little bit later, we could have had government backup. Such a pity. There's just a little end alcove you can go into. Same deal as the other ones. Nothing on the seats. Nothing you can look at. there's actually surprisingly little you can do in this place. There's a lot of... there are a couple of rich, small environments, but for all of these big open corridors with people walking around in them, there's not actually much to it. It's a very funky, weird environment, and I cut off the AI there so she doesn't get to tell me about these people. I was kind of expecting to get away with it.
I know they let aliens in here.
Hey buddy, this is a joke, right?
Dude, this is a joke, right? Dude. I figured maybe I'd have a chance to back off from that one. But no, as soon as that happens, you know you've been caught. But I do start making liberal use of
Dr.
continue.
Grayless is currently at the conference. Keycard is required for entry.
I do somewhat hope that the game doesn't penalise you for pushing continue. So a lot of these things are blind.
Dr. Nakamura is currently at the conference. Keycard is required for entry.
Blind game overs. You have no chance of knowing, aside from a warning from the AI occasionally. But you can cut off the AI so easily by pushing a navigational button. Hump the wall, it's fine. Yep, there's nothing there. It's alright, you can rub your face against that wall as much as you like. Yep, and another guy just walking across the corridor. A lot of people, a lot of walking across corridors. It's like they have nothing better to do with this huge conference going on. I mean, these people aren't even in their labs. I check every single lab, they're all locked. And these guys are just walking backward and forward outside their labs. Maybe they're all locked out. I eventually finish exploring.
Biorhythms of life forms detected nearby. Extreme caution advised.
Indeed. Let's go the other way. I check out this computer, and it confirms what I already knew. That we are down the other end, and this place is a perfect, symmetrical mirror image. Except behind us is the door that would lead us to the auditorium, which is where the assassination will take place, and where we must go to prevent said assassination from taking place. It's worth noting that our energy has dropped a bit, but it's dropping very, very slowly. I haven't quite figured out what drives the energy to drop. We've spent more time here outside than inside the lab, so I'd wager it's something to do with interaction, stress, events that are happening in the game. Like when the neurotoxin is affecting you, maybe that drains your energy faster than when you're just passively walking around investigating. It's impossible to say. And again, I'm drawing, in case you couldn't tell. Just doodling away. Here, resume simulation. Yep, that's where that goes. Line up here. Yep. Up. Yep. And then lab F. Storage. Man, I'm wasting so much ink. Easy.
Dr. Thompson, please report to conference check-in in auditorium complex.
Dr. Thompson, please report to the Barbie. Temporal anachronism.
This door appears to be lodged shut from the inside. With an added amount of leverage, this door may be pried open.
Cool. We need a crowbar. You'd think that might be standard TSA kit. A crowbar. Would you kindly pick up that crowbar? Oop, I was a bit worried the recording had gone funny there.
Nice outfit. Security!
Look at this guy. Look at this sassy motherfucker. It's like, whoa, nice outfit. Security! I didn't realize scientific types were so nonchalant. I reckon they were probably developers having fun in their roles. So let's face it, they're the right physical type. Guys programming computer games, sitting down, just put on some lab coats and be like, oh, look at this guy's suit. What a loser. Ladies, this suit
This
is
laboratory is open to authorized personnel only.
more sophisticated than that lab coat. This thing can't even stop sleeping, yes. Damn it! I lost my own argument.
Dr. Elliot Sinclair is currently at the conference. Keycard is required for entry.
Well, as I just happens... Beep. Disgusting. Look at this. Look at this office. Here's a random watermelon in a vice. Because that's something scientists have. And look at that katana and a machine gun. He's a weeb. Ooh, what do we have here? It's an advertisement for the thing that's happening right now. Yeah. Nothing you can do with it, though. Can't fondle the light fittings, either. You can, however, pester his pet snake. Yep, hump the snake. Good job. Well, there's got to be something to do in here. There we go. Aha! Messages. Sadly, I didn't actually forward them. Oh, it's her again.
Hello, Elliot. This is Dr. White again. I still haven't received results from those morphine tests that I needed the other day. I know you're as excited about this breakthrough as I am, but if you expect to get any credit in the upcoming scientific journal, I'll need to see some practical work from you very soon. Give me a call.
Fucking creepy. Stop it. Bad.
Hello, Elliot. This is Dr. Walczek. I'm calling to check up on our progress after the neurotransmitter equalizer that I prescribed. I'm afraid that the stress you are under may be a bit much even for this increased dosage. But still take only 2 a day, even if you are experiencing the anxiety attacks or rapid mood swings like we had last week. But I'm sure you'll be just fine.
I wanted to hang up the phone before you go ahead and start writing your journal. Looks like our Dr. Sinclair is having some issues with stress. Poor guy, working in the hard and fast scientific field, in this weird insectoid lab. I'm sure it's very unsettling. You can't even fondle his books or his watermelon. You can, however, grab his machine gun.
Agent 5. Do not disturb the current environment and possibly the current time stream without extreme cause. Also, as a TSA agent, you are forbidden to carry lethal weapons under Protocol 37.
Ah, man. What if it's the only way to stop the assassin? Let's hack into his computer with our elite skills. Yeah. Well, we found Discovery, which must be the last thing he was looking at.
I had an interesting thought today while working on the contact-sensitive smart alloys project. It's given that all elements behave in a manner that is consistent with their atomic properties. For example, it is consistent for manganese to bond with barium cobalt in a very particular way under certain conditions. In a sense, these universal instruction sets are similar to the DNA which regulates the behavior of all cells in biological organisms. This being the case, it's conceivable that any non-organic matter can be programmed to respond at the molecular level to a set of predetermined instructions and instruction codes. So imagine a lamp, which upon command could take the form of a chair, a table, or even a work of art. The possibilities are infinite. I'm confident that a proposal to do further research in this direction will be met with approval.
Which explains what we saw in the other lab.
This month has been fraught with discoveries about the morphing process. We learned how to morph all of the elements, but only after we realized that a certain few of them are immutable. Specifically, the inert gases, like argon and krypton. Well, because of their unique electrochemical properties, they simply are immutable. Even worse, these elements actually interfere with the bonding of surrounding molecules and bring the whole process to a halt. On the plus side, we have also discovered that if proper care is taken, even organic matter could foreseeably be altered in form.
I'm not sure that's a very good thing. But hey, he's a scientist here, not me. Yeah, I hate it when that happens.
This journal is, beyond a doubt, the most important of my career, as today marks my first success in the application of time distortion theory by creating a localized neutrino acceleration matrix. I was able to bend time for just a fraction of a second. Anything entering into the distortion field slipped back in time for just a moment, creating a visual effect similar to light refraction in water in a swimming pool. It may not seem like much, but it's truly more than any physicist could hope to achieve in a lifetime. And while it may be eons before there's any practical application of this theory, everything great was achieved one small step at a time, and this is definitely the first step.
Indeed, and you're only a couple years away from getting it working fully. You're a smart man, Sinclair. Very smart man. There's a bookmark here that tells us a bit about the... Yep, hump the desk. About the thingy. Creepy guy.
Welcome to the Symposium on Alien Contact at the World Science Centre in Sydney, Australia. The primary purpose of this conference is to allow the scientific community a forum to exchange ideas and opinions about joining the symbiotry of peaceful beings. The primary debate will take place in the main auditorium complex on Wednesday at 9 o'clock, with keynote speakers and world-renowned scientists Dr. Elliot Sinclair and Dr. Enrique Castillo. The debate will be followed by meetings in conference rooms where the many discussions revolving around this volatile issue will be held. Information on discussion groups will be available at the conference check-in at the entrance of the main auditorium. Accommodations are being provided at the New Sydney Metrocosmopolitan Hotel by the Shuttleport in New Darling Harbour. Thank you. Have a wonderful conference.
Thank you. Your smile is disturbingly perfect. And that's about all there is to find out from this office. That's a lot of stuff to take in. We've got a lot to figure out. Oh shit.
Oh, Dr. Sinclair! Aren't you speaking at the conference right now? Wait a minute, if you were speaking at the conference, you wouldn't be here! Sometimes I just think too much. Goodbye, Dr. Sinclair, and don't eat anything toxic now.
Thanks, Doc Mock. That didn't seem to disrupt the time frame, and I don't see any way you could have avoided it, that happening. But hey, this guy's obviously very, very poorly sighted. And I believe it is right about this stage where I decide
Dr. Sullivan is currently at the conference. Keycard is required for entry.
That it's time for me to check the recording and make sure that it's recorded properly.
This laboratory is open to authorized personnel only.
Which of course it hasn't. I believe I'm just doing a couple of door checks, just to finish off the map and make sure everything is as I said it would be. I think there's a guy with a red clipboard that walks past at some point. I think he's...
Dr. Terrio is currently at the conference. Keycard is required for entry.
Yeah, you can just keep checking those doors. Guy with the red clipboard.
This laboratory is open to authorized personnel only.
Come on, where are you,
Dr.
guy?
Glenner is currently at the conference. Keycard is required for entry.
I swear there's a guy with a red clipboard.
Dr. Terrio is currently at the conference.
Looked at that one already.
Keycard is required for entry.
Raven, what are you doing? And look how little our energy's dropped. It's nothing. Maybe I'm mistaken. But hey, I'm just going to keep walking around for a little bit. Yeah. I think that's it. Yes. No. Yes, I knew it. Red clipboard. I knew I wasn't going crazy. We get a twofer, a double walk by, and that guy walks back in the other direction. So, I don't do anything else beyond this point. So, the next video, I'll have finished sorting out all of this recording nonsense. I would imagine that Pegasus 2 and maybe even 3 will be affected in the same way, so I will probably be running them on the secondary computer full stop. And I may even just make that a permanent standing thing that I do from now on, playing the game on the second computer and then recording it on my main. But until the next video, I'm Raven, and that's all from Pegasus Prime. Please don't let me narrate another video.